Not. He should play quarterback this weekend. Jeff, Saturday, how many passing yards will Justin Fields have against the Vikings?
Ooh, not very many. I'm going to say $175. That's probably, I think I said $174. Oh, you 174.
That would be his season high.
Oh, so I'm going 1 yard bigger. I said, yeah, that's what we do, right? Improvement every week. Listen, we're not doing great if we're the Chicago Bears QB right now, right? He's not feeling it. So I'm gonna go $175, which is an improvement, but not what you're looking for you're a Bears fan.
He's been no Sid Luckman so far.
Oh my God.
So speaking of Justin Fields, the coach there, Matt Eberflus. I mean, you're joking about making him little moment by moment improvements. That's what the coach said yesterday. Listen.
I think it's just pocket presence as he gets more experience. I think he did a nice job of riding the pocket a couple of times, staying in there, delivering the ball for sure. We talked about those plays, and it's just more experience. More experience on a job, he's going to get better at it.
All right, we brought Heather in for this part of the conversation because I think it's imperative to remind people what this guy was in college and what people at one time thought he was capable of when you look at the complete mess that is the offense in Chicago right now.
Well, two things that he was good at when he was at Ohio State and took them to back-to-back college football playoff appearances. One was extending plays, and the other was strong downfield passing, big arm, physical like Cam Newton. But they knew going into the NFL, two things that he was going to need to improve upon would be pocket passing and those underneath throws with a high accuracy percentage. Right. And I think you're seeing that play out, but people have to remember that he played maybe 2 years, a year and a half in college, a shortened 2020 COVID season. So you're asking him to learn these things and improve these things in a very difficult environment right now.
With already his second coaching staff and
That's right.
to be kind, subpar talent around him. Jeff, you actually go back to his high school days.
Yeah. Listen, I used to watch him. I knew his high school football coach down in Georgia, and I would watch his tape. This kid has everything. He's the second best quarterback in that draft class behind Trevor Lawrence. I still believe it wholeheartedly. I believe in Justin Fields. It's going to take time for him, and to Heather's point, the accuracy has to come along. One thing that quarterbacks in college get away with that you will never get away with in the NFL is holding the ball. And he holds the ball right now. So everybody's like, oh man, he's under pressure. He has all these things. But you can watch right here. Like he'll hold that ball too long. Defenses are so fast. Coverage closes down and then pressure gets to you. And this isn't the same type of pressure it is in college where you have that split second. These guys close it down and shut it down. He has to figure out timing matters in the NFL. So when you hit that third foot, you have to know where the ball is going. You can buy time, climb in the pocket, 3 or 4 times a game to make those big plays. That cannot be your fallback. Right now, that's what he falls back on, and it won't be productive in the NFL.
And Heather mentioned it. One of his biggest assets was extending plays.
Right.
You don't really want to extend plays in NFL. It's nice to extend plays when you play for Ohio State.
That's right.
But it's a lot more difficult to extend plays when you have defensive linemen, some of which are close to as athletic as you running after you. But one of the things about reading defenses that I've learned as I've been around more quarterbacks since I've been finished playing is quarterbacks, the better quarterbacks, they understand the coverage before the snap is happening.
That's right.
They've already decided where they are going to throw the ball before the play is happening. And asking a player who is young as Justin Fields to read the play every single time is a lot to ask. Quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers, they study enough film to come to the line of scrimmage, do some hard counts to get the defense to show, and then they've decided, like, I'm pretty sure I'm going here with that. It makes your life a whole lot easier to hit on that third step when you already know where you're going.
And let me add on to this. Part of the college game is this RPO. You hear these terms of RPOs. Part of the issue is quarterbacks read one player, and they're trying to put one player in conflict. Right. That when you get to the NFL, I know I'm getting in the weeds, you're reading an entire scheme. That's 4 or 5 different players who, by the way, are really good at disguising. That is hard to get to quickly in the NFL.
Here's my concern, Kimberly. We talked a moment ago about the way they have developed Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia.
I was just thinking about Jalen Hurts.
How they have brought it along, how he had a skill set, how they sort of nurtured that. They watered that part of the garden and then slowly but surely added pieces to it. And then when he was ready to go over the top, they brought him the final piece. If you look at what's going on with Justin Fields in Chicago, it feels to this point like it's been the opposite of that.
It's literally a travesty. And this is why last year, when people were talking about, oh, put that kid out there, I am always conservative with these guys because I'm looking at this Bears roster and I'm looking at it, no offense, and there isn't enough strong offensive line play. There isn't enough skill positions, like talented skill positions there. Like this kid, is going to be asked to do too much. And now we have a different head coach, a different GM that he has to use. It's just not fair to him. And I think, and this is what frustrates me about people that just say, well, he was drafted in the first round. Like, throw him out there. It's not that simple,
right.
because when they get out there, now we're judging him like, oh, well, he must suck. That's not fair.
Yeah, Heather, give a final thought. I mean, what are people like Ryan Day, his old coach, and others saying right now through what has been a difficult start for him?
Well, Ryan Day has said in the past that this is one of the most athletic, talented, determined kids that he's ever coached. And I'm sure that if given the time, this is going to play out, but he's got to be in the right situation.
I 100% agree.
No, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the reality of it is he is right now being sacked at a higher rate than David Carr was when Monday night he was on the Manning cast, and he was talking about the consistency and level of comfort that he feels within the Eagles offense. Here's what he said.
It's very settling. You know, it's something that I haven't really experienced since, I say it all the time, since high school with my dad. I've literally had to learn something new every year. And I think coming into my second year as a full-time starter with Coach Sirianni, we've had the opportunity to get on the same page. Obviously, him kind of understanding my ability more and, you know, just going out there and playing.
Okay, so obviously an absolutely spectacular start to this season. But when players do things that most people didn't expect them to do, or at minimum wondered if they could, sometimes some people need to see more. Last week we had all these arguments. Tua, do we need to see more? Obviously that conversation changed around him after what happened on Thursday. Have you seen enough? You personally, from Jalen Hurts, that you say, that's it, he's for real, no more questions asked?
Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind. And here's why. If you look at the progression of just this season, right, games 1 through 4, I'll start you with of week 2, right? He goes out and he's dynamic not only with his legs, but with his arms. He throws deep balls, he uses his legs, scores 2 more touchdowns. Then they go to play the Commanders. He goes and plays the Commanders. The Commanders play a good defensive game plan. They ask him to beat them from the pocket. He does it. Throws the ball around, I mean, like he is a pocket passer from birth. Then you move fast forward to Jacksonville. Rain game, ugly game. They start slow, it's ugly. They pin him in, they don't let him run it. It's not a great day to throw the ball. He hands the ball off to Miles Sanders. This is what he is comfortable in commanding this offense. When you watch players beat you 3 or 4 different ways in 3 or 4 weeks, you go, wow, like this guy's not just have a one-trick pony. He understands what he has to do, and those are the conversations that put you with the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons, right? Because and the Tuas of you know, before the injury, he's doing things that people didn't expect, but he's doing different things that people just gloss over. He has had a special year to start.
I wonder if his unique path is part of the reason that he's been able to have success, because it's not just him. I know, Jeff, I'm going to say something that's going to make you very happy.
Shock me.
Offensive line is incredible.
Yes, sir.
And that's really helping him. But not only that, they have weapons. And I think part of it is he's comfortable with not trying to put everything on his back. And he understands that the best thing I can do is stay in his pocket, don't run around, don't try to buy time, let them protect it, and get the ball to my guys who I know can make plays. They have a lot of good playmakers. And also, we don't have, if we're down 14, we don't have to get it all back in one series. This defense is going to get me some turnovers. Defense is going to get some stops eventually. It seems like he is someone who's understanding when it's time to take those shots and when you have to kind of chill out and relax. And that comes with maturity. And I think that partially comes from the fact that he played at 2 major college programs. And everyone's been doubting him since he's been in the league.
That's right.
And God bless whoever hates him.
Imagine.
Great
First
hoodie,
of all,
right? Great
moment
hoodie.
for that hoodie. Jalen Hurts, moment for the hoodie. Imagine a quarterback who has an offensive line, has a strong defense, has a run game. The narrative of Jalen Hurts has completely changed. And guess what? He's still the same guy. He literally is still the same player. Yes, he has improved as a quarterback and as a leader, but all the intangibles, all the traits that he had were there in display. But this team is different. And that's why I credit the Eagles. I credit Howie Roseman for going out and giving the kid stuff to work with, because that's why we talk about the Kenny Pickett situation. You can throw them out there, sure. But when the new guy starts looking like the old guy because they don't have enough around him, I feel like that you're doing a disservice to the quarterback.
The A.J. Brown signing will go down as probably the greatest pickup post Jalen Hurts era.
Well, it's his Stephon Diggs, and that's the point. That's the comparison. The Josh Allen is the comparison, because that was an organizational success story. The way they developed a quarterback. We act like Josh Allen, everyone knew he was going to be a superstar. He was the 3rd quarterback taken that year.